Are you ready to live on Mars? Elon Musk recently suggested that astronauts on Mars could be a reality by 2029, which may take a long time. But how far are we from reality? Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will show you the most difficult obstacle that his mighty startup must overcome in order to reach Mars. Before we get into the video, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure that the post notifications are turned on so that you never miss a video from us. Without further ado, let's dive in. The CEO of SpaceX has long dreamed about establishing a settlement on Mars. It would be self-sustaining, have a population of 1 million people, and aid humanity's transition to multi-planet species. Musk's most ambitious project to date, and one that might keep him occupied for the next 3 decades. Musk wants to develop a full-scale city on Mars' surface. This would be a metropolis that was accessible to the whole public, not just scientists and researchers. People who want to go to Mars could take out a loan to pay for their travel. People might repay the debt by working in anything from iron foundries to pizzerias after they arrive. At a 2016 conference, Musk predicted that there would be labor shortages for a long time. A SpaceX rocket exploded at the end of a high-altitude test flight, but severe fog at the site left even SpaceX publicly unsure of what caused the accident. On Twitter, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk confirmed the explosion, writing, "At least the crater is in the proper location." SpaceX's last 3 launches of test rockets for this model of rocket all crashed or were destroyed shortly after landing. The rocket, known as SN-11, had a normal ascent. According to SpaceX engineer John Spruker, who hosted a live stream of the test launch, everything appeared to be fine until onboard cameras lost communication, and the spacecraft was swallowed by fog moments before landing. When SpaceX engineers were able to inspect the landing location, Spruker said the business would provide information on social media. For safety reasons, the area around the vehicle must be cleaned before liftoff. According to Spruker, the company does not expect to recover video footage. Don't wait for landing, he encouraged spectators watching the broadcast. Due to fog, independent video streamers who filmed the mission were unable to capture the final stretch of the trip. But NASA's spaceflight, a media source, stated that one of the outlet's cameras might have been damaged by rocket debris. After the rocket's fall, footage from the launch site revealed that SN-11 was nowhere to be seen. SN-11 was a prototype of Starship, Musk's vehicle that he hopes will one day transport the first humans to Mars. It's also SpaceX's 4th prototype to take off on a high-altitude test flight, as the company seeks to find out how to land the massive aircraft upright once it lands. According to an independent film, SN-10, the last prototype to fly, landed upright earlier this month, but 3 minutes later the vehicle detonated. Musk originally announced Starship's anticipated landing strategy during a September 2019 media event. He described it as one-of-a-kind move in which the rocket would plunge back through the air with its belly directed towards the Earth while its forefin shifted slightly to keep it stable. Instead of the straight vertical descent to Earth that SpaceX Falcon 9 rockets utilize while landing, Musk claimed the technique is supposed to imitate how a skydiver would fall through the air. The belly flop landing method must be preferred in order to allow a fully reusable transportation system designed to carry both crew and cargo on long-duration interplanetary missions and assist humanity return to the Moon, Mars, and beyond, according to the company's website. Starship will be used for a multitude of purposes by SpaceX, including transporting paying customers between cities at fast speeds, maybe assisting NASA's moon landing operations, and eventually delivering cargo and passenger trips to Mars. The development of Starship is currently in its early phases. A full-scale prototype has yet to be constructed. Furthermore, SpaceX has yet to conduct a public test of Super Heavy, a gigantic rocket booster that will be needed to launch the Starship into Earth's orbit or beyond. However, the first prototype of the Super Heavy rocket was recently spotted at SpaceX South Texas facility. By the year 2029, as the year humans would reach Mars aboard a Starship rocket, says Elon. The tech mogul had hoped to launch the first crewed missions to Mars in 2024 or 2026, but the next generation craft's development has been delayed. Elon Musk's decision to refocus on the Starlink space internet project in the aftermath of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, as well as Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin lawsuit against NASA for granting SpaceX a multi-billion-dollar contract to build Starship as a lunar lander, have all created delays. The most recent milestone in SpaceX's efforts to create a multiplanetary rocket capable of transporting people and cargo beyond the solar system was the loading of the primary vessel onto a super heavy booster at the company's Starbase facility in Texas. When combined with its booster, Starship will be capable of launching up to 150 tons of payload into orbit, making it the most powerful rocket ever built. Within the next month, Starship will undergo its first orbital flight test, which will take it on a 90-minute trek from Starbase to a landing spot off the coast of Hawaii. Several high-altitude Starship flight tests have taken place, but only one of them ended in the rocket landing intact. The most difficult task is ensuring the Starship craft's rapid reusability, which Mr. Musk believes is essential to achieving his goal of transforming humanity into a multi-planetary species. If planes were not reusable, how much would a plane ticket cost? Mr. Musk said at a Starship event last month that trips may cost as little as a few $1,000,000, which he called crazy cheap by today's standards. The ultimate goal is to build a permanent colony on Mars by 2050, and Elon Musk recently suggested that crewed missions might begin as early as 2030. In response to a question on Twitter, Mr. Musk suggested a more specific date of 2029. Last month, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk released an animation illustrating such a mission, showing the rocket sending the main Starship vessel into orbit before returning to Earth. The Starship spaceship arrives at a refueling station in Earth orbit before continuing on its 7-month voyage to Mars. What is Elon's motivation for wanting to build a metropolis on Mars? Musk has indicated that humanity's ultimate goal is to become a multi-planet species. Over the years, he has collected a list of reasons why humanity would want to expand into the universe. One of his constant concepts is that a cataclysmic event on Earth may mark the end of civilization, but mankind may be able to survive if it can establish a base on a new planet like Mars. Musk isn't the first person to suggest that mankind colonize another world. In 2017, Professor Stephen Hawking warned that if humans are to survive, they must expand outward within the next 100 years. When did Musk first come up with the concept of a Mars city? In 2001, Musk attended a conference of the Mars Society, which is a non-profit organization. During the occasion, Musk learned about the group's intentions to send mice into orbit to inspire others. Musk began to consider the notion of sending them to Mars instead, which led to the establishment of SpaceX. Before SpaceX had even launched its first rocket into space, Musk told Wired in 2007 that there would be bases on the Moon and Mars in 30 years. In 2016, he presented a statement at the International Astronomical Congress on his idea of transforming humanity into a multi-planet species. Musk stated in 2020 that he planned to build 1,000 SpaceX Starships in 10 years in order to carry 1 million people to Mars by 2050. Musk pushed back his earlier projections last year, stating he was very optimistic that SpaceX would be able to send humans to Mars in 2029. Who hasn't dreamed about visiting Mars? Of course, we are all doing it. Elon Musk, on the other hand, is eager to make it a reality. The first orbital trip of the Starship mission around Earth might happen as early as March. However, if Musk wants his venture to succeed in the long run, he must ensure that the rocket's engine, the Raptor 2, can provide enough thrust for the Starship to leave Earth's orbit and eventually reach Mars. Musk stated in a tweet in December that the Raptor 2 model would be the only one SpaceX would develop in the future. He anticipates SpaceX to produce 5 or 6 Raptor 2 engines per week in January, then ramp up to 7 or more per week in March. Musk has stated that a powerful engine like Raptor 2 is required to supply any human-inhabited base on Mars. If you had the chance, would you permanently abandon Earth for Mars? Did you find this video informative or helpful? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. Don't forget to like and share.